Welcome back to the channel. Oh my goodness, this is the first weekend since early December when I'm just at home doing just at home stuff, and I feel like one of those kind of, perfect wives who do perfect wifely stuff on Instagram. I'm not going to do perfect wife. I'm not a perfect wife, but I have had the most lovely morning. I had a lie-in. I lay in bed until 7 o'clock. And then, you may think but for me that's really very nice. And when I woke up with no alarm just before 7, it wasn't pitch dark. It wasn't light, but it wasn't pitch dark. And I could hear birdsong when I came downstairs and put the kettle on and let the dog out and let the ducks out. There was birdsong, and I really took my time. I had a piece that I'd written for Substack that I wanted to do a voiceover for, so I did that gently, taking as much time as I liked. And then I very slowly emptied the dishwasher and put a wash on and loaded the dishwasher again. I mean, just all at a very, very slow pace. And then I went to the supermarket really slowly, and I had a lovely time because I bumped into my neighbours, because Saturday morning at the supermarket in Wincanton, it's like going to a cocktail party. There's somebody new to talk to in every aisle. So I had a really lovely, so I'm putting you on there we are. So I had a really lovely time at the supermarket. Look at my bomb site studio. But anyway, I'm here to have a lovely time. So I'm going to have a lovely time and talk to you at the same time. So I came back from the supermarket very slowly. I did this slow day, and I stopped at the butcher on the way, and I bought a chicken for Sunday lunch. I mean, I really was doing the housewifely stuff. Oh, and I took as long as I could possibly take to put the shopping away. And then I love to make homemade dog food for my dog. Yeah, you see, I'm sounding like one of those women. Anyway, so I put some homemade dog food on for my dog. And then I batch cooked some bolognese sauce to put in the freezer. And that's now in the low oven, just cooking quietly. And then I emptied the dishwasher and refilled it again. And I put another wash on. And it is only 1:30 in the afternoon. I have done all of this as slowly as possible. I've taken time to have hot milk in my coffee. I've read my book. I very highly recommend a book called 4,000 Hours. 4,000 Weeks. And it's about how we may as well make better use of our time. And I'm really, really enjoying it. It's one of those books that says, you know what, we're all going to die. So make the most of enjoying the time. Don't just endlessly push productivity, but enjoy yourself pushing productivity. And of course, it reminds me that I am unutterably lucky in that I've made a career for myself, having a nice time doing what I like. Because here I am, the gods are smiling. This afternoon, England plays Scotland in the rugby of the Six Nations. And this is a match I often miss. But it's not until 4:40 p.m. So I can watch it. It'll be dark. I can go inside and watch it later. But the sun is shining. And so I'm going to spend a couple of hours sowing seeds. These are some Orlea grandiflora that we pricked out at my seed sowing demo earlier this week. And here are a few more. So I'm going to pop these up for our village plant sale, which is on the 9th of May. We do a common good plant sale every year. I encourage you to hold a plant sale on the 9th of May and raise a little bit of money for your local gardening charity. It's not really about raising large sums of money. It's about community, people talking to each other, generosity, getting together to do something good for your community. that's what it's about. Anyway, so these are going to be for my common good plant cell. I'm going to pot them up. These are going to go down to the greenhouse. They might stay outside. I might keep them very cold. I do this because then they have some fresh air and exercise. This is to strengthen them. It's like, you know, if you have children, you make them go outside and run around. Well, obviously plants that live in a tray in a quiet environment with no wind, I'm pretending to be the wind. Anyway, so I had this beautiful afternoon. So, and my cup runneth over. It is the 14th of February, which means that we have 10 hours of daylight. So I'm sowing seeds this afternoon. I try and wait until the 14th of February before sowing, really getting going on my hardy annuals, because they will germinate more quickly. It's closer to the solstice in the summer. So they'll germinate a little bit more quickly. There's 10 hours of daylight, so they will grow more strongly, better colour, and so on. So I've not sown any seeds this year other than a little crop of sweet peas, which I finally did last week. And I'm just here to tell you, you know, you're allowed to luxuriate in the quiet domesticity of being at home. It's just being at home. And the chores, I like this book, this 4,000 Weeks book, because it reminds one that one only has 4,000 weeks on earth, and therefore it's really worth doing things that give one pleasure. And I'm on a chapter which is talking about sort of guilty pleasure you might get from hobbies because they don't bring you in any money. And I kind of think like housework is a secret guilty pleasure of mine, because I don't do it very much. My house is filthy and very untidy. I am helped out by my friend Rachel, who comes once a week and does what she can, but frankly, the focus here is on the outdoors, not the indoors. So when I spend time just pottering slowly in the kitchen, I feel like a new woman. Anyway, I'm sorry I have been a bit absent from the chore, and I will tell you more about that in another clip. But for today, I thought you might like to see what I'm up to, see what the flower farm's looking like. The sun is out, it's February. I feel as though there's not much to show you, but I'm going to take you on a quick tour and then I'm going to sow some seeds. Off we go. And if you're new to the channel, you're very welcome. Please subscribe, press the bell icon, and maybe the algorithm will tell you when we've got more clips coming out. And if any of the tips and tricks we give you along the way are useful, you can always join my club. And the link to join the club is in the blurb to all my clips. That's where the fun is. Anyway, have some hellebores for your pleasure. Look, the sun's out. It's actually warm in the sun. It's so lovely. Behind me, these are big bags of compost, all of which need to be put on the beds. It's been so wet that I haven't set foot on the beds here at Common Farm since mid-December. But it doesn't matter if you feel a bit behind. If you're planning on being a flower farmer, or you're growing flowers for fun, or you're gardening for fun, don't feel behind. You'll catch up with yourself. It'll be a few sunny afternoons like this. It's because when the weather's really terrible, you feel as though you're never going to be able to catch up. But suddenly the sun comes out, and also you get more time in the day, and then you can really make a difference. You can get a load done really quickly. The studio behind me, that's where we hold our workshops. When we have workshops at the farm, we've got a few of those coming up this year. We have 3-day intensive workshops. So we've got a lifestyle business intensive retreat coming up in March. Then we have the floral retreat, the floristry retreat in the summer, and the flower farming intensive in October. And so we hold the sessions. This is where we work together. And then this is where some of the beds are. This is all shrubs and perennials up here. And here are my roses. This is why we do not sell roses on Valentine's Day. They have been pruned, as you can see, with a hedge trimmer by my son. But all the prunings need taking away, the beds need weeding, and then the roses need mulching, ready for the season. They need to tidy up, so any dead wood in the middle, like here, needs taking out so that there's room for the green to grow on. Plenty to do here. I don't burn much. Most of our waste, horticultural waste, gets put into heaps, either to be made into compost or to be dead hedges for animals to live in. But when we prune the roses, the prunings, they are burned because we do get black spot, and this is a way to remove the black spot altogether. Burn it. One of the things I do on a day like today is just look out for any empty spaces in the beds, make a little note, and then it's a good time still just to get some bare root shrubs in. So I will then go and have a look and see what I can find and order in some little extras, bare root, to pop into the gaps I've got here. Here's one of our dead hedges. We take all our prunings and clippings and just dump them along here, and it provides a really great habitat for beetles and small birds to escape into. All kinds of people live in the dead hedge. We came to Common Farm 20 years ago, no, in 2004. And so all the trees, everything you can see here has been planted by us since then. And it is amazing what can grow in really quite a short period of time. These are the annuals beds, looking kind of, for the time of year, looking all right. They're ready for a bit more mulching, being prepared to be planted into. And the annuals I sow today will mostly end up in here. So it's important to not sow too many because, limited space and all that. Here's the first crop of sweet peas, just sitting in the ground. They're not really doing much yet. They're just waiting for their big moment. And if you look, you will see, for example, self-sown Ammi majors. And this will grow up and take the place of the sweet peas once they've finished. So I'm going to leave it, and it will work very hard for us. So it'll be our second crop in here after the sweet peas. But through here you can see some quite big Orlea grandiflora. That's all self-sown from last year, and I'm leaving it there because that's a really nice little crop for us. And then here are some ranunculus. I missed my window because I was rushing around so much, and things, life took over. I wasn't very organised with my ranunculus. They were soaked on New Year's Eve, and then we had a patch of really cold weather, so I put them sort of to hold fire for a bit in some vermiculite, and then one day I had an hour so I quickly chucked them in the ground. They never got sprouted, they just got put in the ground. They've done very nicely. They're looking good, I think. I was going to water in here, but it's going to be a freeze tonight, and I'm keeping this tunnel, on purpose, quite cool. I don't want a build-up of damp, but tomorrow night is forecast to be 5 degrees, so I will water the polytunnel tomorrow because tomorrow night is not going to be so cold, and I don't want to lose these ranunculus. They could do with a tinkle of water, just a little sprinkle. Not too much, not too little. The greenhouse is about to fill up with seed trays, but for the moment they're just not sprouted yet. Sweet peas, That's my second crop. That's for going outside. And my friend Rachel Golding Barrett of Tetbury Flower Company, I was over at her place the other day talking about Chelsea Flower Show, and she had some spare ranunculus that she said, I'm never going to get them in, and so she gave them to me. And look, here they come, despite a little marauding from the mouse, I will admit. And I've got a load of rosemary cuttings here. I'll keep a few for me, and again, some of these will be potted up for the plant sale. Now this could be called a bed of shame. You can see my narcissi all pushing through last year's weeds, which normally I would have cleared and this bed would have been mulched. But it hasn't been. But life overwhelms sometimes, and it is what it is, but I'm still going to get some nice knocks. So I'm not going to get myself in a flap. And then behind me, this is a perennial bed with bulbs underneath. Time to get that sorted out. But again, the forecast is more wet. So I think we'll wait for one more week and we'll get going. Luckily I have a neighbour who comes and helps and is astonishingly effective. And so, while I could be feeling a bit behind, I'm not. I'm feeling sanguine. Nothing like gardening or growing anything. Grow anything on purpose, and you have to learn to not mind if it dies, not mind if you miss your window, not mind if it's a disaster, and to make the most of what does well. If you can make the most of what does well and hedge your bets enough that you've got enough that'll probably do well, then, you know, things could be worse. Right, I'm going to head off to the garden centre and get some compost. I don't keep huge amounts of potting compost, seed sowing compost around. I just buy enough when I need it. And then it doesn't sit about going anaerobic. I don't need very much, very often. So I'll go and get it now, just enough for me.